Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 6.8. The chapter which we are related with is interest and bond valuation, managerial finance, and we are related with question number 6.8, Lawrence Gitman, the writer's name. 6.8, up till now we have discussed three main factors: real rate of interest, nominal rate of interest, and inflation premium. And we understood that real rate of interest is different to nominal rate of interest. Real rate is actually the return which you are getting from your investment. So what will happen? Nominal rate which you are receiving from the organization, it is nominal rate of return. But obviously you will have to face inflation. In case inflation is positive, real rate would be less than that of nominal rate, and it is very usual in any part of this world there is a sort of inflation. Even in the developed countries or underdeveloped countries, inflation factor would always be present. So it means at one side you are receiving return from investment organization, on the other hand economical barriers are also present like inflation. So the return you are getting from one side would be reduced by inflation rate. So real rate of interest, how do you calculate? By subtracting inflation rate from nominal rate. So guys, in this way, we understood several factors related to these three elements in previous questions. Right now, still, these are basic questions and we need to understand concepts related to these three. And here a new word has been added, and that is risk-free rate. With this we will be introducing risk premium as well. Now the real rate of interest is 3%, which means the actual rate you are receiving after subtracting all economical barriers. You can see that real rate of interest, how do you calculate? By subtracting all economical barriers from nominal rate, you will get your real rate of interest. So this 3% is the rate after subtracting all the barriers present at that particular period of time. Inflation expectations are given here. Risk premium is also given. Both are economical barriers and both are associated with inflation. On the other hand, this real rate of interest you have got after subtracting each type of inflation expectations. Inflation expectation is divided into two parts: premium or risk premium. So both are inflationary barriers. So this 3% rate you have got after subtracting these rates. Understand it again. Inflation rate, that means inflation expectations of all types. So there are two type of inflation expectation. This rate you have got after subtracting these inflation expectations. So what we are required to do, risk-free rate. Okay, the new word has been introduced. This is closely associated with real rate, and right now risk-free rate. So how would you calculate risk-free rate? For that you may have, before that I would let you know how to calculate this nominal rate. We have already understood that if you want to calculate nominal rate, this inflation rate is being subtracted on the right side of is equal to. You want to take it or transfer inflation rate from right side to opposite side. So what will happen? This sign would be changed. Real rate is already present on left side and you are taking this inflation rate to the left side. Sign would be changed, it would be added. So when you will add inflation expectation in real rate, you get your nominal rate. So in the similar way, when you will add your real rate but you will add inflation premium, only. As you know, in your question, there are two types of inflation expectations. So when you will add inflation premium only and ignore risk premium, so what will happen? You will get your risk-free rate. And if you will add real rate in inflation premium, as well you will add your inflation risk premium. Inflation risk premium. So finally you will get your nominal rate. Okay, nominal rate means when you are adding all sort of inflation or economical barriers, you will get your nominal rate. So we have started with this real rate. How do you calculate when you will subtract your inflationary barriers from nominal rate? You will get the real or actual rate which you are receiving. This formula was the basic, and everything in the next step is just mathematical transformation. Inflation rate was subtracted over here, you have taken to the opposite side, real rate was added with inflation rate, and you have got your nominal rate. In the same manner, next two steps we have just changed the position, and nominal rate is actually a general rate in which all inflation barriers would be added with real rate to get the nominal rate. So at this stage, please take screenshot and you can pause your video over here and just see how we have created these formulas. Those very simple, and the conceptual understanding is more important. Please understand that real rate is not what you are receiving from investment company. It has two different modes. What rate you are receiving from your investment company, where you have invested your amount, you will have to bear inflationary or economical barriers. At one side you are getting, but on the other side you are losing. How? The price of one product was 100 rupees, and due to inflation the price of that product has become 150. So you have lost 50 rupees on one side, but on the other hand you are receiving return from company. So this collectively after subtracting the amount lost due to inflation from your rate which you are receiving from organization, that's the rate which you are actually getting. This conceptual understanding is very important. Remaining is very simple. Please excuse me. You have just taken this inflation rate, it was being subtracted over here, transferring it to the opposite side, it has been added, and that's all. So now let's see what is our requirement. The first requirement, which is risk-free rate, and we have already formulated it. Look over here, risk-free rate, how you will calculate real rate plus inflation premium only. So for that we need our time period if it is given, then we need our real rate. Normally it is denoted by K, and then we have inflation premium. Finally we will be getting our risk-free rate, and this is required in the question. Let's highlight it. This is our part A, and let's align them accordingly. Little more space is needed. All right, let me make a little more space for inflation premium. Time period, everything is mentioned. No, time period is not given. Instead of securities, different type of securities are given. Type of security, and it has been said A, B, C, D, E. After which we will see what real rate is mentioned in our question, and I'm sure you remember that in first line we have already seen it. The real rate of interest is currently 3%. So it means for all securities we do have 3%. Inflation premium is given in your question. This is inflation and premium. Inflation premium. First rate is 6%, and then we have 9%, 6, 9, 8, 5, 11, 8, 5, 11. And now we are in need to calculate our risk-free rate. How? We have already decided real rate and inflation premium would be added. Let's write this formula. Real rate and add inflation premium. So you will get your risk-free rate. Let's arrange it. And this button wrapping is not working accordingly. So it creates little problem sometimes. Alright, so we have got our risk-free rate when you will add your real rate in inflation. Real rate is 3%, so simply 3 would be added in inflation premium, which is 6%, so we have 3 plus, okay, instead of taking help from Excel, we are manually adding. What we have added? Real rate and inflation premium. It is, so I think we'll have to change it 3. Though percentage is given, but Excel is taking it as differently. So now simple is this, risk-free rate is 3 and you will add inflation premium. Again the same thing is happening. Okay, let's change its position. In this way you can learn how to manage your Excel as well. Actually it is taking, look over here, it is taking percentage. We do not need percentage. In general we will get the answer. And now let's see, risk free real rate is 3% and you will add your inflation premium, so we have got 9%. So everything mentioned over here is percentage, keep it in mind. All answers are in terms of percentage. Next, for B security, 3% real rate, 9% inflation premium. Okay, and now we are going to calculate our C requirement. For C security, 3% is real rate and inflation premium 8%. Next, 3% real rate and inflation premium 5%. Next, 3% is real rate and you will add inflation premium. We have got our answer. Look, when you are doing on Excel, it is literally very easy to calculate by pressing single formula. But right now what I am doing is what you will be doing at your paper or at your notebook. I can tell you how we can take help from Excel. First real rate and then add in inflation premium, and just with one click all rates would be calculated. But that may be little difficult for you to understand, or whatever you will be doing on copy, I am right now doing the same thing manually. I have calculated everything just for your understanding, your better understanding for calculations. So part A has been completed and we have calculated 9, 12, 11, 8 and 14. Please note it down. These are your answer for part A. Now let's see what part B is saying to us. Although not noted what factor must be the cause of different risk-free rates found in part A. Look over here, you have at the same time period, there were different type of securities, but every security is bearing different rate of interest. Now let's start why these are different rate. Obviously, each type of security is facing different problems. It may be organizational problem, it may be economical problem, or it may be possible uh, the organization where you have invested is uh, offering different maturity periods. So time period is the key factor, but political factors and economical factors are also involved in different real rate of interest. Just we are giving one example, time period for maturity is key factor of difference in real rates. So guys, that is the answer for B part, and now C part is saying find the nominal rate. And look, we have already understood how to calculate nominal rate. Nominal rate includes everything, whether it is first type of inflation premium or second type of inflation risk premium. So all sort of inflation economical barriers, when you will add in real rate, you get the nominal rate. Nominal rates are not the actual rates. You can say it is assumed or supposed or expected rate. These are not real rates. So for that, again, we need type of security, we need real rate, we need inflation premium. So instead of writing them again, we are hiring headings from previous part and writing down as it is. So why it is not taking? So instead of collective approach, we will take these values individually. Collectively is not taking. All previous part would be used to calculate your rates in next part as well. Okay, this was the problem. How, why this is creating problem? Let's take these amounts. If it can be, no. Yes, this is creating problem. Let's unmerge it. I'm sure that you are learning how to tackle your problems, and I often share with you these lectures are absolutely live. No pause, no interruption, no editing. Whatever you are looking at, it's absolutely live. If you will get a lecture for 20 minutes, so it was prepared or recorded in 20 minutes. No additional minute, no editing, and no interruptions. So everything is in front of you, even there is no pause. Okay, now come over here. We need to calculate nominal rate, which includes three factors: real rate, inflation premium, and inflation risk premium. Since there are two types of inflation given over here, risk premium is needed to be recorded over here. So inflation risk premium is also needed to be put over here. So let's wrap it up if it can work. Okay, inflation risk premium is given in your question. It is 32241. 32241. So percentage I was not writing, but Excel has taken it as percentage, but we will have to perform this function manually. Over here you need to calculate your risk. You will have to calculate your final nominal rate, and nominal rate would be calculated by adding real rate, inflation premium, and inflation risk premium. Usually we have a general formula. You want to take your nominal rate, you will have to add real rate with all inflationary aspects. In our question, there are two types of inflationary expectations. So to calculate your nominal rate, you will add these both inflation premiums. All right. So let's make our formula visible if it can, but still more space is needed. Let's make a little more space for it. No more. Okay, still more space. So this is our formula for nominal rate. And finally, what you will do, your real rate was 3%, then add inflation premium 6 and plus 3% of rate. So finally, you have got 12% as your nominal rate, where both inflationary expectations have been added, and first security is completed. For second security, 3% was real, then in premium 9 and 2% was risk premium. For third security, 3% was real rate, 8% was inflation premium, and you will add your risk premium, and it was given in percentage. We need to write 2%. And the next step is 3% was real rate, inflation premium 5, and 4% is your risk premium. And finally, we have 3% for security number E, real rate. You will add inflation premium 11 and risk premium 1. So finally, we have got all nominal rates for all the securities present in our question. Let's see if anything else is given in our question. C part was to calculate, find the nominal rate. Okay, so it means all parts have been sorted out. First part was to calculate your risk-free rate, with which what you will do, simple inflation premium would be added in real rate. You will get your risk-free rate, and in C part, nominal rate was asked to be calculated. You will add all sort of inflationary expectations or all economical barriers. When you will add in real rate, the final answer would be nominal rate. Solution is in front of you. It was simple solution, three parts, and we understood these inflationary expectations can be more than one type. In previous question, we have seen only inflation expectation in single phase that was added in real rate to get our nominal rates. In this question, the only difference is inflation expectations was divided into two parts, both collectively to be considered as inflation expectation. And again, when you will add this inflation expectation in your real rate, you can have your nominal rate. Look, this was the basic formula, and in last formula you again calculating nominal rate. Why for two nominal rates? Why for nominal rate we have two formulas? It was a simple thing. This inflation rate was divided into two parts of inflation. Look, inflation premium and inflation risk premium. So both were inflation expectations divided into two parts. So collectively it would be inflation rate. Three parts we have completed. 6.8 is completed. We have reviewed the question as well. So finally 6.8 is completed. Solution is in front of you, but even then I'm offering you, if you have any trouble, any problem of understanding this question, you are very open to ask your queries through messages, text, or you can directly me to ask and share your problems. I will and I am assuring you that you will be answered instantly, inshallah. 6.8 is completed. We will be looking each other or meeting each other soon again for the solution of any other question. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. And a humble request to repeat this question by yourself as well. Listening is not enough. You have listened, understood, I'm sure, but repeat this question by yourself to have better understanding. 6.8 is completed. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.